Welcome back, True Seeker. More tragic news in the headlines. Comedian Richard Lewis is dead at 76, reportedly from a heart attack. He's been suffering from Parkinson's last April. It was April 24th, 2023. It was announced to the world that he was battling Parkinson's. And he's died just shortly after the new season of Curb Your Enthusiasm debuted. He was in the February 18th episode. Of course, a lot of people recognize Richard Lewis from Curb Your Enthusiasm. He's been a big star on the show for several years now. And what I want to talk about is a familiar pattern that has to do with people connected to HBO or home box office when they pass away. We've seen this pattern with Matthew Perry, now Richard Lewis. We've seen it in the past with Omar from The Wire. We've seen it from the young actor who looks like Mac Miller from Euphoria. Again, if you're new here, we talk about something that's been sung about. There's some songs out there, one called Gematria, the killing name, another's called Murder by Numbers, where killing's as simple as ABC is 1, 2, 3, and Gematria is the practice of coding numbers into words. Agatha Christie has a novel that Amazon made into a show called The ABC Murders. Anyhow, you learn this code of ABC 1, 2, 3, and you start to see through the ritualism of what's truly going on in the world of celebrity, entertainment, government. And this is the latest example. We're going to take this to a place you don't expect it to go in light of him dying from a heart attack. But we're going to go back to something the CIA revealed in 1975 at a congressional hearing, that there's a weapon that exists in the world that can make somebody have a heart attack. And I'm going to show you why it doesn't seem like it's a stretch that that same type of weapon has been used on many people, including Richard Lewis, who reportedly died yesterday, February 27th, 2024. So, where to begin? In Gematria, home box office equates to 126 when you take the alphabetic order. So H, for example, the first letter in home is the 8th letter of the alphabetic order. O's the 15th. M's the 13th. You just add up the whole title using the alphabetic order. So it'd be 8 plus 15 plus 13 plus 5 plus 2, and so on. Home box office adds up to 126. If you take the alphabetic order with numerology, home box office equates to 72. The difference in that way is H is the 8th letter, so it's still worth 8. O is the 15th letter. In numerology, you take any number that's larger than a single digit and you compress it to a single digit. So O, the 15th letter, would be 1 plus 5 is 6. So O is 6 in the cipher that's dark blue. M, the 13th letter, is 1 plus 3 is 4. So home box office adds up to 72 this way. He has died 126 days before Larry David's birthday on July 2nd, 7-2. And again, as we're going to get to, we're on a calendar that's created by the Jesuit order. We're in the time of the first Jesuit Pope, Pope Francis, who became Pope on the 72nd day of the year. And Richard Lewis did die 72 days after the Pope's birthday. And let's not forget that the year Pope Francis became Pope, Tony Soprano of The Sopranos from HBO. That show came out in 99. Sopranos equals 99 in Gematria. Tony Soprano died in Italy 99 days after the Pope became the Pope. Anyhow, 126 days before Larry David, the creator of Curb Your Enthusiasm, 126 days before his birthday on 7-2. And there are 4 base ciphers of the English language: the alphabetic order with numerology. The other 2 are just the alphabetic order in reverse, the alphabetic order in reverse numerology. Notice how heart attack also equals 72, the cause of death. And again, Larry David's birthday, July 2nd. It's 126 days before his birthday. We just saw Matthew Perry die recently by the numbers. Exactly 126 weeks after the HBO special for Friends. They said Matthew Perry's worth $126 million at first when he died. That was in the story about his passing. Notice how Jesuit order and home box office both equate to 54 and 72. Another name that equals 54 is John Carroll, who established the nation's first Jesuit university, Georgetown, when he was 54. And the founder of HBO, Charles Francis Dolan, not to be mistaken, going with Pope Francis, And again, if you don't know the history of the Catholic Church and the Jesuits, they're modeled after the Franciscans, which are named after Saint Francis of Assisi, just like Pope Francis is. But anyhow, the HBO founder went to John Carroll University, who again made his legacy at age 54. Matthew Perry died at age 54, the day of the Hunter's Moon, which equals 54, connected to home box office. So just so you can see, Jesuit order and home box office, the exact same, 5472. And for the record, the word sun equals 54. The Catholic Church and the Jesuits are a sun cult. The Jesuit logo is the sun. The sun moves 1 degree on the astrological wheel every 72 years. So there is a reason for all these numbers. 126 corresponds with the Bible, where God makes man in the verse 126. The numbers aren't arbitrary. And again, Pope Francis became the first Jesuit Pope March 13, 2013, the 72nd day of the year. This ritual, 72 days after his birthday. Notice February 27th, the day of Lewis's passing, is the day leaving 307 days left in the year. Larry David's full name is Lawrence Gene David, which equates to 307. 307 is the 63rd prime. John Carroll equals 54 when you run it forwards. John Carroll equals 63 when you run it in reverse. John Carroll also equals 126 with the alphabetic order. So again, the founder of HBO went to John Carroll University, the Jesuit school. Let's just compare. Home box office, John Carroll. Both 126, both have the 54. Again, 307 is the 63rd prime. This death happens on the day leaving 63 days left in the year. The difference, obviously, with the 171, which is the 18th triangular number. And that's important because the Jesuit acronym IHS in their logo equals 18. The word sun also equates to 18 as well as 54. The 225 is interesting because the founder of the Jesuits, Ignatius of Loyola, was shot with a cannonball on May 20th, the day leaving 225 days left in the year. We recently saw the former Superior General Adolfo Nicolas die on that day, the day leaving 225 days left in the year. So the point I'm making is all of these numbers corresponding with home box office correspond with Jesuit order, their history, John Carroll, where Mr. Dolan went to school, John Carroll University. And the Trinitarian formula, which is the Catholic, in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, it has the 225 connection. So if someone's going, but Larry David is Jewish, yes, he is. And if you look into the Jesuits, several of them were Jews who converted to Catholicism that founded the order. The Jesuits are known as a Jewish Catholic alliance. There's a reason that the Pope wears the smaller cap as well. Notice also how Curb Your Enthusiasm equates to 108 like heart attack. Again, Richard Lewis dead from a heart attack. Now, Richard Lewis died 243 days after his birthday, and the CIA was founded once upon a time in a huge Jesuit ritual. And some people know the CIA as the Catholics in Action. Of course, it stands for Central Intelligence Agency, but its nickname is also Catholics in Action. And I'm sure a lot of you are aware of the popular fictional character, the Jesuit-educated CIA agent Jack Ryan. A lot of movies and shows made about that very Jesuit character. And you know where Jack Ryan went to school? He went to Boston College. Just for the record, I want you to see that Boston College is 144 and 54. There's that 63 again, just like Jesuit orders 144 and 54. But the thing about the CIA, it was created in a Jesuit ritual September 18th, 1947. We'll talk more about it in a moment. And what's interesting is back in the 70s, the CIA said that they do have a weapon that can kill people from heart attacks. And, what are the odds that he dies 243 days after his birthday? Understanding that it's the Jesuits who run your government. Again, the Jesuits set up camp in Washington, D.C. before it was the federal city. They set up the CIA in a Jesuit ritual. HBO's run by the Jesuits. So really what I'm showing is, these things might all have different labels. This one's Central Intelligence Agency. This one's Home Box Office. This one's the federal U.S. government. But at the end of the day, what they all are is the Jesuit cabal. And think about it. Today's news breaks on February 28th, right? They referred to it as a heart attack gun. Heart attack gun equals 228. Coincidence? Now, with regards to the CIA's establishment in a huge Jesuit ritual, I want to go over this episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm. It was the most recent episode at the time, and the lady had to flash the phone with the number 201 on it. And notice, the founder of the Jesuits, his name is Ignatius of Loyola, which is 201. And Pope Francis is the first Jesuit pope, and he's the first to live in Suite 201 at the Vatican. His birth name, Pope Francis, is Jorge Mario Bergoglio, 201. The name of that building, if you look it up, has a name. It's the Domus Sanctae Martyr, 201. And it's named after Pope Leo, who even died on the 201st day of the year, which isn't uncommon for popes because Catholic Pope is 201, just like the Jesuit order is 201 if you throw a "the" in front of it. So many huge rituals with the Jesuits in 201. The CIA was founded on the sitting pope at the time, his 201st day of his age. And the words in the Jesuit order's logo, or not the Jesuit order's logo, but the CIA's logo is Central Intelligence Agency, United States of America. Again, it's the circle with the bird with the shield, and those words are written in the circle around, which is 201. And the motto of the CIA is the work of a nation, the center of intelligence. And I just want you to see, and again, if you don't know this, you can look it up. It's right on their own website, but the work of a nation, the center of intelligence, 201, okay? When Larry David announced that this was going to be the last season of Curb Your Enthusiasm, and now Richard Lewis is dead during it, he announced this 201 days before his birthday. You know, he said season 12 is going to be the last season. The announcement was December 14th, 201 days earlier, going with this. And by the way, consider that Larry David made his name with Jerry Seinfeld, right? Jerry Seinfeld's also 201. Let me spell it right. I had a letter backwards, but it's still 201 even when you spell it right. Jerry Seinfeld, 201. Jewish mysticism is where this whole practice of coding numbers into words comes from. Kabbalah is Jewish mysticism, 201. The Holy Bible, Kabbalah is related to the Old Testament, 201. It's why Israel was created in a big 201 ritual. And again, there's 145 more chapters in the Catholic Old Testament, the Jewish section. Catholic 145, like David Ben-Gurion, who died 201 days after the anniversary of Israel's establishment, who was the first prime minister whose name's also 145. But again, it goes on and on and on and on. And if you don't know, the founder of the Illuminati was a Jesuit. He was a Jewish man, Adam Weishaupt, who was a Jesuit, who founded the Illuminati, called it Order of Illuminati, died 201 days after the anniversary of its establishment. But you see, these things aren't an accident. And in Hebrew, 201 pertains to light. So think about that in light of Illuminati, right? The ones in the light is what Illuminati means. And to the occult, knowledge is light. Funny enough, the phrase in English that we all know, knowledge is power, is 201. When you spell it right. There it is, missing a D. Knowledge is power, 201. But, again, this death, or excuse me, let me see if I got the right post up here. Right after, Catherine Cates from Seinfeld died 201 days after the anniversary of the Seinfeld launch, the original episode air date, and she was on Seinfeld. And the thing was, when she died 201 days after that anniversary, the episode that had just come out of Curb Your Enthusiasm, they had this in the last episode where she had to hold up her cell phone showing the 201. And again, this is on Jesuit-run HBO. And I forget what the name of the studio is where HBO films at, where they do Real Time with Bill Maher. And think about Bill Maher. Bill Maher's half Catholic, half Jewish. He's like the Jesuits. But whatever the name of that building is, you look it up, it equals 187, like Society of Jesus. That's the formal title of the Jesuits. So, yeah, and again, I don't think that Larry David wants to kill Richard Lewis. And I don't think at the end of the day, Larry David killed Richard Lewis. He might not even be aware that this is all synced with him. It's just these guys, they perform for these networks. They signed on the line, like Bob Dylan, who's also Jewish, who told us many years ago on 60 Minutes, if you want to make it in show business, you have to sell your soul. And we see over and over when these people die, it's perfect rituals synced with what they're most remembered for. And you can see every headline about Richard Lewis is about Curb Your Enthusiasm. All you guys who like The Wire, go back and watch The Wire. What? Right on the screen, they put up the date that it's supposed to be in the show. They have to tell you it's May 4th, right? 5-4. Like home box office 54. And then Omar, beloved character from the show, dies in a big 54 ritual, but also a 56 ritual. You see how HBO's 56, like Society of Jesus, the formal title's 56. Get 187, like the studio where they film, whatever the name is of that thing, it's 187 as well, which is a number associated with homicide in California where the studio is. But yeah, Matthew Perry, in case you forgot his death. Matthew Perry, dead on the day, leaving 64 days left in the year. Matthew Perry, 64. Also 172, like the Jesuit motto, Jesus, or Adam and Mariam de Gloriam. And again, he died at 54, the night of the Hunter's Moon, 54. And again, exactly 126 weeks after the Friends special on HBO. And he died the day of Julia Roberts' 56th birthday. And then next thing you know, Julia Roberts is in a movie produced by Obama, the winner of the 56th election. A little Black Lives Matter. Also a Jesuit. If you don't know, the Black Panther Party, all the original meetings in Catholic churches, Black Lives Matter. Totally Jesuit through and through. And that's why they painted in the Jesuit stronghold, D.C., Black Lives Matter on Church Street on the 5th day of the 6th month, which is the anniversary of Ronald Reagan's death, who came from Hollywood. Anyway, Matthew Perry dies on Julia Roberts' 56th birthday. Then the movie by Obama, Leave the World Behind. Leave the World Behind, 192. At the end, you see Commodus' name on the wall, who died in the year 192. And then, you can go on and on and on. 93 days later, we're having the cell phone problems like in the movie, and they're comparing the movie to what was going on in reality, as we covered. That was last week. For everyone in the United States, amnesia who already forgot. But yeah, anyway, R.I.P. Richard Lewis. For all the fellow home office actors out there, be careful. Again, the Euphoria actor, he just died at what age? In his 20s? I got to go back. That was not that long ago. Oh, that's right. Kevin Turin, producer of Euphoria, just died too. I forgot about that. That the young actor died, and then the producer died at 44. Of course, kill and execution equal 44. In fact, with regards to Richard Lewis, he's dead 44 weeks and 1 day after he revealed that he had Parkinson's, which was last year, April 24th. Oh, here, I'll tell you another thing, too. Just a little numerology thing. From the debut of season 12 to Richard Lewis's death is 23 days later. End equals 23. 23 is the 9th prime number. 9 represents conclusion in numerology. He died on the 27th. His last episode while he was alive of Curb Your Enthusiasm, debuted February 18th, 9 days earlier. And 218's no accident either. Holy Roman Empire's 218, and supposedly it ended in history on the 218th day of the year, August 6th, 1806. I didn't even cover it, but he died on 73 date numerology, and we know about sacrifice in 73 and 73 books in the Catholic Bible. But hold up, I was trying to find the Euphoria young actor who passed away, and it was all synced up with the episode where the main character overdoses after they buy his drugs, and they said he died from a drug overdose. Angus Cloud of HBO hit Euphoria, dead at 25, and his father died the week before. His father passes, and then he's dead. And, it's coming back to me now. So, dead at 25, HBO's 25, so is Death. So was Pope. His first name was Connor, 25. He died the same day as Pee Wee Herman, who also had the connection to HBO. Pee Wee Herman died at 70 on the same day. He died on the Feast of Loyola Day. Again, Ignatius Loyola is the founder of the Jesuits. Jesuit order equals drug overdose, which was his cause of death. And the name of the episode where the character, he sells drugs to the main character and she nearly dies, and then he reportedly dies from a drug overdose right after his father dies. But that episode where that happens to the main character is called Stuntin' Like My Daddy. So him and his dad die just days apart from each other. He died 38 days after the anniversary of that episode. Death equals 38, like Lil Wayne. That's Lil Wayne's song. Stunting Like My Daddy. They're playing the Lil Wayne song in the episode. Stunting Like My Daddy. 103 like overdose like Jesuits. You know what I mean? 103. Overdose. 103. Jesuits. 103. Drug overdose. Another way to put it. 153. Jesuit order. 153. Holy Bible. Again, they use biblical rituals. 153. The Illuminati. 153. A shooting in Joel Osteen's church at 153. Remember, they just gave you the video the other day. But yeah. R.I.P. to Richard Lewis. Thank you to everyone who hits the like and the share. Thank you to everyone who supports the work. And hope to see you on TFR tonight. Again, TFR live streaming every Wednesday, of course, on TFR Radio Network, but also on YouTube, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 Eastern, 3-hour show. Drop by, give us a call. Always love to hear from first-time callers. Until next time, Truth Seeker.